She once laughed with her friends, saying, "I'd never let him meet my family. He's too embarrassing." I overheard it from the next room. I didn't argue. I didn't react. I just waited. That weekend, she found out truly, deeply, what embarrassment actually feels like. You never believe it's going to happen to you. You read those wild stories online and think, no way. People aren't actually like that. You assume you'd spot the warning signs. You assume you'd know better. Let me tell you, you can be staring directly at the truth, living inside it every single day, and still have zero clue until the ground collapses beneath your feet. For me, that collapse happened on a Tuesday night. Let me start at the beginning. My name is Matt. I'm 38 years old. I own a landscaping and custom outdoor construction business. I launched it when I was 22 with nothing but a rusty pickup truck and a secondhand lawnmower. Today I run 3 full crews, maintain a fleet of trucks, and we design and build everything from luxury patios to intricate waterfalls and koi ponds. I'm not a guy who wears suits or sips espresso at art galleries. My hands are rough with calluses. I almost always have a little dirt under my nails, no matter how thoroughly I wash them. But I'm proud, deeply proud of what I've built. It's tangible. It's honest. It's mine. For the past 4 years, my entire world revolved around Amelia. She's 32, gorgeous, intelligent, and works in public relations. We met through a mutual friend, and I fell hard. She was everything I thought I wasn't. Polished, cultured, effortlessly elegant. She knew which wine paired with which dish, which fork to pick up first, how to navigate a room full of strangers like she owned it. I thought she balanced me. I thought we complemented each other. I thought we were a true partnership. We got engaged 6 months ago. She was the one who insisted we both wear engagement rings. She'd read some article claiming it was a modern symbol of equality in relationships. It felt odd to me, at least in the circles I run in. It's not common for men in the U.S. to wear one, but it mattered to her. She said it signaled to the world that we were equals, equally committed. So I wore the simple platinum band she and her friends picked out together, and honestly, I felt proud wearing it. The diamond I bought for her, that was a whole other story. Classic, timeless. Cost more than my first truck. I didn't blink. I wanted her to have something extraordinary. The only real friction, if you could even call it that, was our different backgrounds. I grew up solidly middle class. Dad was a mechanic. Mom worked as a teacher's aide. We weren't rich, but we were happy. Amelia? Her family is what people call old money. Her father's a renowned surgeon. Her mother runs a high-profile charity foundation. They move in a world of private clubs, black tie galas, and seaside estates. I met her parents a few times, always polite, always distant, like they were studying a rare insect that had wandered into their greenhouse. I was never invited to their big family holidays or milestone celebrations. Amelia always had an excuse. It's just boring family stuff, you'd hate it. Or, my aunt's visiting and she's a lot. I'm protecting you. I believed her. I thought she was being thoughtful. I thought she was shielding me from their judgment. I was a fool. The moment everything became crystal clear was last Tuesday. Amelia had her 2 closest friends, Chloe and Isabella, over for wine. They were her bridesmaids. I was in my home office, which shares a thin wall with the living room, finishing up some invoices. Their laughter started getting louder, sharper, as the wine flowed. I tried to tune them out until I heard Chloe ask, "So, is your mom's 60th birthday party this weekend still Matt's big debut with the extended family?" There was a pause. Then Amelia laughed. That wasn't her warm, joyful laugh. It was cold, dismissive, mocking. "God, no," she said, her voice dripping with contempt. "Can you imagine? I'd never let him meet my extended family. He's too embarrassing." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. I literally stopped breathing. "Embarrassing," she repeated. Isabella chimed in, her voice sickly sweet. "You have to, sweetie. You can't keep him hidden forever. What would he even talk about with your Uncle Robert? Mulch?" They all burst into laughter. It felt like they were standing right beside me, pointing, jeering, sneering into my face. I know, Amelia said, catching her breath. I'm working on a plan. Goal is to get the wedding over with, lock him down, then train him little by little. He's a good provider. You just have to sand down the rough edges. Or trade up, Chloe added. More laughter. I didn't hear anything after that. A roaring filled my ears. The air vanished from the room. I wasn't her partner. I was a project, a fixer-upper, a secret to be managed. The man she was going to marry was too embarrassing to introduce to her family. I didn't storm out. I didn't yell. I didn't confront them. I just sat there in the dark, hands resting on my keyboard, and something inside me changed. The pain was there, heavy and suffocating. But beneath it, something else was forming. Cold, hard, crystal clear. She had just handed me a blueprint, her true perception of me, our relationship, our future. She thought I was simple. She was about to learn exactly how wrong she was. I waited until I heard them leave. Then I shut my laptop and began crafting a plan of my own. She wanted embarrassment? Fine. I'd give her an experience she'd never forget. Update 1. The 24 hours after overhearing that conversation were the longest of my life. I went through the motions. Amelia came into my office later that night, kissed the top of my head, said she was heading to bed. She didn't notice the change in my eyes. She didn't realize the man she was saying goodnight to was not the same man who'd been sitting there 2 hours earlier. My plan had to be surgical. No emotion, no mess. Just a sequence of logical, unavoidable consequences. She saw me as a simple landscaper, a guy who worked with his hands. She forgot that my job is literally to reshape the earth, to look at a patch of barren dirt and envision a finished paradise. I was about to apply that exact skill to my own life. First thing Wednesday morning, I called my lawyer. I laid out everything I'd heard. I needed to know where I stood legally. We lived in my house-owned outright before I ever met her. Her name wasn't on the deed. We had a joint savings account for the wedding, but everything else, cars, investments, personal accounts, was separate. He confirmed the house was mine alone. He advised me to immediately transfer 50% of the wedding fund into a new personal account to protect my share. I did it via my banking app before we even hung up. Next, I dug into her mother's 60th birthday party. Amelia told me it was a small family dinner. A quick online search revealed the truth. A lavish, catered soiree at a prestigious local art gallery. Guest list? A who's who of the city's elite. This wasn't a dinner, it was a declaration. And she was planning to attend it alone, leaving her embarrassing fiancé at home. The anger? Pure. Cold. Perfect fuel. I spent the rest of the day setting the stage. I called a luxury car service, the kind with blacktown cars and drivers in suits. Booked one for Friday afternoon. Called a premium moving company. Scheduled them for Friday morning. Told them to pack up 2 rooms and a bathroom, all of Amelia's belongings, and move them to a climate-controlled storage unit. Paid for 3 months up front. Thursday, I put the plan into motion with Amelia. I came home from work with her favorite flowers. Told her I had a surprise. I know we've been stressed with wedding planning, I said, delivering the performance of my life. And I know your mom's party is this weekend. I want to do something special for us. I've booked a surprise romantic getaway, just the 2 of us. We'll leave Friday afternoon, come back Sunday morning, just in time for you to see your mom on her actual birthday. Her eyes lit up. This was her language. Luxury, spontaneity, grand gestures. Oh my God, Matt, where are we going? It's a surprise, I smiled. Just pack an overnight bag, with something nice for dinner Friday night. I'm handling everything. She was ecstatic. Spent the next hour texting her friends, bragging about the surprise. I could practically hear Chloe and Isabella squealing through the phone. The simple man was learning. He was finally getting it right. Friday morning, I took the day off. Told Amelia I had errands to run for our trip. As soon as she left for work, the movers arrived. They were flawless, quiet, efficient, professional. In 3 hours, every single item that belonged to Amelia was gone. Clothes, toiletries, artwork, throw pillows, all packed with care. When they finished, they handed me the storage unit key and a detailed inventory list. The house was mine again. Quiet, clean, empty of her. Then I changed every lock. At 4 p.m., the Blacktown car pulled into my driveway. Amelia arrived minutes later, buzzing with excitement, overnight bag in hand. Her friends Chloe and Isabella were with her. They'd come over to see her off and get all the juicy details. They were lounging on my couch, sipping champagne they'd brought when I walked in. "The car's here," I announced, smiling. Amelia jumped up and hugged me. "I'm so excited. Where are you taking me?" Her friends watched, eyes gleaming. This was the kind of drama they lived for. I walked her to the front door, bag in hand. The driver, impeccable in a black suit, held the rear door open. "I've had an amazing time," I said, handing her the bag. She looked confused. "Aren't you coming?" "No," I said, smile unwavering. "This is for you. It's time you met your family." Her confusion deepened. Chloe and Isabella were now standing in the doorway, smiles fading. I handed the driver an envelope. Then I handed Amelia a second, envelope-thick, expensive paper, her name written neatly on the front. "This should explain everything," I said. "Have a safe trip." I turned, walked back inside, and closed the door. Locked the deadbolt. I could hear their confused voices outside. I walked to the living room window and watched as the driver, following instructions, closed her door and got in the car. Amelia stood there, letter in hand, staring at my closed door. Then she got in. Chloe and Isabella were left standing in my driveway, bewildered, as the car pulled away. Phase 1. Complete. Update 2. The silence after that car left? The loudest sound I've ever heard. Chloe and Isabella stood in my driveway another 5 minutes, calling Amelia, then me. I didn't answer. Eventually, they got in their car and left. Probably to start a group chat titled, "WTF Just Happened?" I poured myself a whiskey, sat down, waited. I knew the real storm wouldn't hit for at least another hour. Let me tell you what was in those envelopes. The one I gave the driver? Instructions. A generous tip. His destination. The art gallery hosting Amelia's mother's party. His orders. Drop her off at the main entrance. Hand her a small envelope from the glove compartment, then leave immediately. The envelope I gave Amelia? A multi-page letter. I spent 2 days writing it, calm, rational, devastating. It opened with her own words, quoted exactly. "I'd never let him meet my extended family. He's too embarrassing." I explained I'd overheard her conversation, that I now understood my role, a provider to be hidden, a project to be trained after the wedding. I told her I was saving her the trouble. I was removing myself from her life, so she could be with the people she wasn't ashamed of. I detailed the cancellation of our engagement. Noted her belongings were in secure storage. The key in the small envelope the driver would give her. I informed her the locks were changed. She was no longer welcome in my home. I ended it by wishing her the best in finding a partner she wasn't embarrassed by. Phase 2 was already moving. While she was reading that letter in the car, a courier was en route to her father's office. The package contained both engagement rings, the one I bought her and the one she insisted I wear as a symbol of equal commitment. Also included a short, formal note. "Dr. Anderson, I am returning these to you. It appears the commitment they were meant to symbolize was not shared. Amelia has made her choice, and I am respecting it. I'm sorry for how this may affect your family. Sincerely, Matt." Timing was everything. She'd arrive at the party, reeling from my letter, just as her father opened a package, confirming every word. No room to lie. No way to spin it. She'd be trapped in a cage of her own design, surrounded by the very people she was desperate to impress. Around 6:30 p.m., my phone exploded. Missed calls. Amelia, her mother, unknown numbers. Texts flooded in, chaotic, panicked, pleading. "How could you do this to me? You left me here. Everyone is staring. My father is furious. You've ruined everything. Let me in the house right now, you psycho. Please, Matt, it was a joke. I didn't mean it. My life is over. I hope you're happy." Then came messages from Chloe and Isabella. Vicious. Called me a monster, a gaslighter, a manipulative coward. Accused me of planning this all along, of trapping Amelia. According to them, I was the villain for reacting to her betrayal, while she was the innocent victim of a misunderstanding. I read every message, didn't reply to a single one. Just sat there, watching the digital collapse of a life I thought was mine. The real satisfaction, not her panic. It was my silence, my refusal to engage in the drama she created. I'd made my move. Now I just let the consequences unfold. I ordered pizza, put on a movie, turned my phone to silent. The next day, I learned what happened at the party. A friend's cousin works for the catering company. The story was already legendary. Amelia arrived in a black car, dressed for a romantic dinner, dropped off alone at the curb, stumbled into the gallery in tears, clutching my letter, just as her father opened the package with the rings. The scene? Spectacular. Her mother trying to drag her into a side room, her father known for his icy control turning purple, whispers spreading through the crowd like wildfire. She wanted to avoid embarrassment. Instead, I served it to her on a silver platter at the one place she valued most, in front of everyone she cared about. Sunday, the attack shifted. The frantic texts stopped, replaced by something more insidious. The social media smear campaign began. Vague posts from Chloe and Isabella about toxic men and hidden abuse in seemingly perfect relationships. Amelia posted a single photo, a tear rolling down her cheek. Caption: "Sometimes you don't know what you're escaping until you're free." Survivor. They were rewriting history, framing me as an abuser, a disgusting, calculated move. I knew I had to shut it down, not with drama, with precision. I remembered something. A month ago, Amelia complained her phone storage was full. I helped her back up photos and videos to her laptop. I had a hunch. I went to her old laptop left behind, password protected. But she always used the same password, her childhood pet's name. I was in within seconds. Went to her voice memos. There it was, a file labeled Girls' Night Wine. I pressed play. The entire Tuesday night conversation recorded. Her laughter. Her calling me embarrassing. Her plan to train me. Isabella's mulch comment. Chloe's trade-up suggestion. All there, crystal clear. I edited it down to a 60-second clip. The most damning parts. Didn't post it online, sent it to 2 people. First, Isabella's fiancé, Tom, a finance guy I'd met a few times. Message: "Hey Tom, thought you might want to hear what your future wife and her friends talk about when they think no one's listening." Second, Amelia's father. Email: "Dr. Anderson, I have no desire to make this public, but Amelia and her friends have launched a campaign painting me as an abuser. This is the recording that led to my decision. Her own words. I won't release it publicly unless forced. I suggest you advise your daughter to stop." The social media posts vanished within 3 hours. The smear campaign? Dead before it began. Checkmate. Final update. It's been 4 months since the night of the party. Life has settled into a quiet, steady rhythm, one I didn't realize I'd missed so deeply. The anger has mostly faded. What's left is calm, clarity, resolution. I'm writing this final update to close this chapter. For myself, and for anyone who's followed this story. The weeks after the implosion, a strange blend of chaos and silence. After I sent that audio clip, communication from Amelia and her circle ceased entirely. Like a switch flipped. The power dynamic had shifted. I held the truth in her own voice. They knew it. The threat of that truth going public enforced a ceasefire. Through the grapevine, I heard what happened next. Isabella's engagement to Tom? Over. Hearing his fiancée laugh while discussing another man as a project to be trained didn't sit well. He saw it as a glaring red flag about her character and her friends. He walked away. Chloe? Still with her husband, but I heard they went through a brutal rough patch. Her role in the smear campaign, the toxicity of that friend group, opened his eyes. Amelia's life? Completely upended. Still living with her parents, Her father, obsessed with reputation, was humiliated by the public spectacle. The story of her being dropped off at the party became local gossip they couldn't escape. He put her on a strict allowance, demanded she get a job, pay her own bills. The free ride? Over. She and I had one final, indirect exchange. 2 months ago, I received a formal letter from a lawyer she hired, a demand for financial compensation, claimed she was entitled to a portion of my business's value due to emotional and domestic support during our relationship. A desperate, last-ditch grab for money. My lawyer's response? Short, brutal. Included a bill for half of all non-refundable wedding deposits, over $40,000. Included a detailed accounting of every major expense I'd covered for her over the past year. Car payments, credit card bills, vacations. Concluded, if she wished to pursue her claim, we'd meet her in court, where we'd file a counterclaim for her share of wedding losses and expenses, and submit the audio recording as evidence of her fraudulent intent. We never heard from her lawyer again. The most satisfying part of all this? Not the drama, not the fallout. It's been rediscovering my own life. I've thrown myself back into my business, landed 2 of my biggest contracts ever. Reconnected with old friends Amelia didn't approve of. Spent weekends hiking, fishing things she called dirty and brassy. I'm dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I met a woman who's a veterinarian, smart, funny. When I told her what I do, she said, "That's amazing. You create beautiful things out of nothing." She didn't see dirt under my nails. She saw creation. The difference? Staggering. Last weekend, I saw Amelia. I was at a coffee shop reviewing designs on my laptop. She walked in with her mother. Didn't see me at first. Looked diminished. The polished confidence? Gone. Replaced by weary resignation. Her mother spoke to her in a low, stern voice. Amelia just nodded, eyes on the floor. Then, she looked up. Our eyes met. A flicker of panic. Then, shame. She quickly looked away, hurried out, leaving her mother standing there. In that moment, I didn't feel anger or triumph. I felt profound pity. She'd been so terrified of being embarrassed by me that she became the architect of her own humiliation. Her greatest fear? That people would think she'd settled for someone beneath her. Now, she has nothing. Her friends, her fiancé, her reputation, all gone. All because she couldn't see the value in a man who loved her, not for who she could become, but for who she already was.